You're never letting the flying turtle incident go, are you? The flying turtle must never be forgotten. It was one time. 2, if you count the talking turtle you enchanted on my birthday. What? I thought you liked turtles. You've trained with me for years, and that's what you choose to remember? Mirae had been studying sacred bone magic, the ability to wield all 3 of Sola's magic systems, a birthright that belonged only to Solan queens and their heirs, her whole life. But since her mother's illness, she had postponed all her other studies, while Captain Gia did her best to advance Mirae's talents in her own field of expertise. Jade witchery. The first magic system Mirae would be tested in that night. Thanks to Captain Gia, Mirae's skills had improved to the level of a woman with years more experience than she had. The Jade Witch prodigy was herself the youngest captain ever appointed to the Wanhua, the palace guards, and was rumored to be on track to become general of Sola's army. But both Mirae and the young captain sorely missed the days when sneaking off entailed hanging out with Mirae's brothers by the river, instead of attacking each other with all 4 elements as if the fate of the peninsula depended on it. Of course, despite all her new skills, Mirae occasionally still needed to rely on other techniques to achieve the results everyone expected of her. She couldn't help but chuckle now at the memory Captain Gia had brought up. Who knew turtles were so chatty? But Captain Gia's face had sobered. Mirae followed her gaze across the secluded training field and felt her own body fall still. The royal palanquin was approaching from the west, a blood-red box looming over the shoulders of 10 impassive servants. Not even the cheery yellow drapes or black canopy for cooling could draw Mirae's eyes away from the beaded curtain that hid the woman inside, her mother, Sola's enchanted queen. The woman everyone expected Mirae to replace, years earlier than any other crown princess had attempted the trial of the gods. Mirae turned back to the captain. What is she doing here? The physician said taking long walks would benefit Her Majesty, Captain Gia said. It looks like she's taking a page out of your book when it comes to loose interpretations. She should be resting. Mirae looked nervously toward the tree line to the south. In truth, she was worried that her mother's increasingly unstable powers would tamper with her own carefully honed magic. Today of all days needed to go uneventfully. The sacred bone oracles were already in the forest's depths, setting up the mysterious trial of the gods. Do you think she needs to speak to me? Mirae asked, careful not to glance back at the palanquin, lest she expose her nervousness. Captain Gia shook her head. I doubt Her Majesty will get too close. She knows what happens when your sacred bone powers interact. A few weeks ago, there had been an incident. Mirae's mother was found sleepwalking in the ancestral shrine, lighting paintings of past queens on fire. Mirae had been roused from bed and used a soothing Ma'um illusion to draw her mother out. But her spell had waned too quickly, her skills in Sola's second magic system too weak to compete with her mother's madness. Her mother's delusions ended up coming back with a vengeance that resulted in the rest of the building catching fire, nearly taking Mirae along with it. After that, the council members of the Hwabek had decreed that Mirae's mother was no longer fit to rule, and Mirae's Sangsok ceremony would be scheduled for the next full moon, whether she was ready for it or not. It was now only hours away, and Mirae could hardly call herself prepared. Gongju! Captain Gia pulled Mirae back into the present and gave her an encouraging nod. Stay focused and show Her Majesty what you can do. Light me on fire. Mirae nodded and held her palms in front of her, readying them for magic. She took a moment to study Captain Gia's defense.